morning, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on After GMS at 7:45 on Thursday, September 3rd. I'm Tracy McCain here in the studio. Taran Kirksey and Megan Malaris are joining me from their homes. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Oh,
Morning.
I know. One day we'll be able to say it to each other face to face. We'll be social distanced, of course. Who knows? We might even have to wear masks when we're right next to each other, but we'll get to that bridge when we come. Right now, we have to focus on the forecast ahead of the Labor Day holiday weekend. So, Taran, you're delivering another hot forecast for today, but then some cooler temperatures.
Yeah, we have a little relief on the way as we head into the weekend, but we just have to make it through today and tomorrow first. We'll see high temperatures in the low to mid 90s, small chance of an isolated shower storm both days. Then a cold front will move in late Friday. Behind that cold front, we'll have a pretty nice weekend ahead of us. The humidity will drop, temperatures will be lower. Highs Saturday will struggle to make it into the upper 70s to low 80s. And by Sunday morning, I think the weather early Sunday morning is going to be very pleasant with temperatures in the 50s and the 60s before warming up into the lower 80s. The break in the humidity is not going to last long, though. I think we'll see the heat and the humidity build as we go on into next week. 20% chance of an isolated storm on Labor Day. Then we'll see a better chance of scattered showers and storms as we head through the rest of next week. That's a quick look at your forecast.
Let's get to your headlines this morning before we get into today's talkers. Today, Vice President Mike Pence will visit our Tar Heel state. He'll be in Raleigh holding a roundtable discussion at the Gateway Women's Care. Then he'll accept the endorsement of the Southern States Police Benevolent Association. Looking ahead to next week, President Donald Trump will be in the Triad. He is set to give a speech at Smith Reynolds Airport in Winston-Salem next Tuesday, the 8th. Doors open at 4 p.m. The speech starts at 7. We will have full coverage on WFMY News 2. Today, Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden will visit Kenosha, Wisconsin, and plans to meet with the family of Jacob Blake. Biden believes the officer who shot Blake should be charged, and he's hoping to help the community heal from the shooting. This comes 2 days after President Donald Trump visited Kenosha. The president praised law enforcement, but said little about the circumstances of the shooting while there. 3 Triad school districts are making changes to their back-to-school strategies. First, Stokes County is moving up the date on which it will allow students back in the classroom. Stokes County Schools says it will move to Plan B on September 14th with a blended approach to remote and in-person learning. Stokes County was supposed to be remote for the first 9 weeks of the year, but district leaders say that time was necessary to get cleaning supplies, and in the last 3 weeks they've done that and moved up the return date. Thomasville and Lexington City Schools doing the opposite, extending their remote learning periods. Both districts voted to stay online until October 16th. Thomasville was supposed to head back to the classroom next week. Lexington was set to return later this month, but again, October 16th is the new date for that. If you're planning to take a final summer road trip, maybe your first of the summer amid the COVID-19 pandemic, you might want to get your vehicle serviced before you hit the road. We turn to WFMY News 2's Candace Red for some helpful car care reminders.
Before you hit the road over the Labor Day holiday weekend, you want to make sure that your vehicle is in good condition. Well, car experts suggest checking the battery, tires, and fluids. Well, you might be able to handle some basic car maintenance at home, such as checking and changing your car's oil. You should also test and inspect the windshield wipers and lights. But if the check engine light is on, you might need a professional to diagnose the problem. Your car's brake pads also require regular inspection. Well, Cynthia Roy is the owner of Roy's Automotive in Greensboro. She says you should also check your car's tire pressure once a month.
The first thing that I would do is walk around the vehicle and check each and every tire, the condition of the tire, the inflation of the tire, the tread wear patterns, including the spare tire. You want to make sure that your spare tire is inflated. You can get to it, and you can also get to the jack in case you have a flat tire.
You should also have an emergency kit in your car. You never know what might happen when you're on the road. It should include water, non-perishable food items, jumper cables, a flashlight with extra batteries, road flares, and a first aid kit. By the way, you might also want to consider adding additional items such as a face mask, hand sanitizer, and gloves due to the coronavirus pandemic. For more details, all you have to do is visit our website, WFMYnews2.com.
All right, so our first conversation this morning, phase 2.5. It begins tomorrow night at 5 p.m. With more places opening up right before the Labor Day holiday, you might have plans to head out or do something, or you might want to stay home. So we want to know, what do your weekend plans look like? Are you heading anywhere, doing anything, or are you staying home? Let us know in the comments below. And I do have some background information here for you. We know Tribe businesses are already getting ready to reopen. Gyms have the green light, as do playgrounds, museums, and bowling alleys, with restrictions, of course, some capacity limits in play. With Labor Day holiday right around the corner, it gives you a few more options, though, if you want to get out of the house. So on my Facebook page, I posed this question. What's the first thing you're going to do during phase 2.5? Is it go to the gym? Maybe go to the playground? Did you decide to stay home? Let us know. So Jean wrote in pretty quickly and said, pretty much continuing to do what I'm doing. I do like knowing the gym is open. One day I'll venture back in there, just haven't picked the date yet. Robin said, since we still can't have a date night at the movies, I guess we'll head out to a playground. Carolyn Stover said, go straight to the gym. And Francis Summer says, I'm going to the beauty shop. Mira also writing in saying, nothing will change for me. So we want to have some new comments here from our friends on our Facebook live stream. And already a lot of people are commenting. We'll get to those in a minute, but first we'll start with you, Taran. Phase 2.5, it's a modification right in the middle of phase 2 and phase 3. Do you have any plans, or is it just another weekend?
Probably just another weekend. I don't think we're going to have any plans that are any different than we probably would have done, last weekend or the weekend before. We've been trying to make an effort to frequent, the restaurants and other places of business that we enjoy a lot, just to make sure that we're supporting them through this time. So we'll probably continue to do that. The only thing that might change is, when the gyms start opening up a little bit more, we may begin to go back to the gym that we were going to before the things got closed down in March. So we'll see. But the gym I've been going to, and we've been going to, has always been very good with sanitation, even before the pandemic. So we feel pretty good about going back.
All right. How about you, Meg?
Yeah, the only thing on my agenda for sure is a hair appointment tomorrow, even though I know salons were allowed to open under phase 2. I just haven't been since March. I haven't seen the reason to, but looking forward to that, of course, wearing masks. And I know the salon stylists are taking the same precautions, of course. Other than that, maybe go to a restaurant and socially distance on the patio and enjoy a meal, or go for a hike. I'm not too keen on rushing to these museums and aquariums, especially this first weekend that they're allowed to start easing some of these restrictions. I am a little bit concerned that there are just going to be a lot of people trying to do the same thing, and that the wait times might be long for some of these places. So I would still recommend maybe making a reservation if you can at some of these entertainment venues that are allowed to be open. I know the zoo is still taking reservations by appointment. So that might be something fun to do, especially with the cooler weather eventually on tap.
Yeah, I think it all depends on your comfort level. I used the analogy a while back about, being someone who's not a person who cannonballs into a pool. I stick my toe in, and then eventually, my ankle gets wet, eventually my shin, and then my knee. I really take my time when I do anything. So just like that, I will do the same here with phase 2.5. It is a modification of phase 2, giving some more, some less restrictions and a little bit more freedom out there if you choose to do these things. And I know my children are just ready to get out of the house. So we might do something. We just haven't decided what it is going to be yet. But whatever it is, we'll have a reservation and we'll figure it out. So I'll let you guys know on Tuesday when I come back to work if we did anything at all. I mean, again, my fantasy weekend is just staying at home and making sure everything is cleaned up and, in order. And, the toys are put away, the closets are clear, every piece of clothing is hung up. That's my ideal weekend. So, I don't really like to do much anyway. I know I'm a boring person, but somebody loves me. Okay, so I want to go ahead and read some of the comments here, and they really are coming in at this moment. Ramona says she doesn't know yet, while Tanya says that she was going to stay home. We heard from David, who said he's going to continue to stay home with the same routine and be safe. Kay said, nothing's going to change for me. Jason said, treating it like another day. I've been working nonstop during all this mess, still going out to eat and acting normal. John Henry Jr. said, not much will change for him. Tamili wanted to know if the playgrounds are open yet, and they will open tomorrow night at 5 when phase 2.5 goes into effect, which means we'll probably start seeing the tape, the police tape that's been roping them off come down, which is pretty cool. Jason also says, yeah, you can go to the aquarium, but you can't social distance at an open stadium to go to a football game. And that was something that our Two Wants to Know team dug into yesterday. Why is it possible that, you can be socially distant, in a Walmart, for instance, than if you were at an open stadium? So make sure you head to our website. It's a very interesting conversation that they had going on, Two Wants to Know. Renee actually puts this into some perspective and says, my daughter met with a friend who lost both his parents to COVID, not planning on changing our stay-at-home lifestyle. So, that should make you think a little bit. There are people who have lost their lives, people who have lost their family members during this pandemic, and we certainly cannot forget about them because those are the people who fought. They were true heroes trying to, make it to the next day, and, unfortunately lost their lives to this. So that kind of puts it into perspective that, yes, there are some dangers out there, and so you do have to be comfortable with whatever decision that you make. So Taran, your comfortability level, are you like me where you kind of inch your way in, or are you gonna dive in head first?
In general in life, I try to really analyze things and kind of come up with some type of a game plan before I do anything. But at the same time, I'm also impulsive at times. It's one of my worst habits. It's one of my worst attributes is I can be very impulsive at times. It gets me in trouble sometimes. So, but in general, I try to think through things, try to kind of take my time. And with this, we've tried to really be careful and think about, okay, we're going to go to this place or that place, maybe at a certain time where it's not as busy, which we would have done even outside the pandemic, try to go places when it's not going to be crowded just because we don't like crowds. So that's kind of the way that we do things.
Wow, Taran, you're just as boring as I am. I didn't know. No, I didn't. I had a clue. All right, Megan. And to be honest with you, in our friendship, Megan and our friendship, I think Megan is the more adventurous one. I'm kind of like, do we really have to go out? But no one would ever suspect that. I think people would think that I'm like, yeah, let's go out, and it's not that way at all.
I think it depends on what we're doing. I do have to sometimes, yes, urge you to go to some places, but all in good fun. And I really hope that we will get to a point in the next few weeks where we're able to comfortably and safely start doing things again. Obviously still keeping social distancing in place, but I have high hopes for a vaccine coming soon. We've heard that some of them are in their final clinical trials. I really, though, am hoping that it is a mild fall because I know you, Tracy, are more comfortable doing things outside than inside. So I'm really hoping that the weather stays nice enough, long enough for us to continue doing this until there's a vaccine or some kind of a major drop in cases.
That would be nice. That would be nice. So, Taran, I bet you didn't know that about me and Megan, did you? If you hung out with us more, you would know this. Well, we don't really hang out at all right now, but still.
I did not know. I learn something new every day.
All right. Well, tell us something new about the forecast. Maybe this cool down will bring some smiles to our faces.
I think people will enjoy the weekend. We have a lot of heat out there today and tomorrow, but the weekend's looking pretty good. I think it's going to be a really nice taste of fall, especially early Sunday morning. I'm really eyeing that time frame with temperatures in the 50s and low 60s to start the day, and then temperatures will eventually warm up into the low to mid 80s. And then the humidity and the rain chances increase next week. And there are some signs that next week could end up being a fairly wet week, but it's still several days out, so that could certainly change. But that's what we're looking at right now. That's a quick look at your forecast.
Right, sounds good. Thanks, guys, for joining us on After GMS. Again, we'll have more on phase 2.5 tomorrow before it goes into effect, and what you can do and what you cannot do. Some movie theaters, of course, well, actually all movie theaters are closed in our state. including concert venues, even the Tanger Center for Performing Arts that never got the opening day that it wanted in 2020. So a lot of things and places to go remain closed, but there are some easement of restrictions that you can look forward to if you decide to go out. All right, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.